Hey guys, SimmersDim Gaming here. If like me, you've spent the past 5 months playing the masterpiece that is Resident Evil
Hello there.
2, Daymare 1998 is going to be something that we should be hyped for, and I'm going to go over some of the reasons why. So insert the Daymare 1998 footage right now. As you can see, even from this quick snippet of gameplay, it's very similar to the Resident Evil 2 remake. And this is because it takes a lot of inspiration from the original fan-made Resident Evil 2 remake, because the guys that make this were the ones that made that. So there's a lot of inspiration there, as you can tell. Also, the layout of the game as well looks very much like Resident Evil 2 remake. So you've got, obviously, the camera angle is virtually the same as the Resident Evil 2 remake camera angle. The controls I'm going to assume are going to be the same. So this gameplay is from the preview version of the game, which is the demo that came out. And yeah, as you can see, very distinct Resident Evil 2 remake style feel to it, but it is very much its own game. It's not just a Resident Evil clone. There's a few things that really interested me about this demo. There's a load of little things involving gunplay which is rather interesting. Things like, if you tap the reload button, your character will drop the magazine. If you hold it, he'll take the magazine out of the gun, put it in his inventory, and then put a fresh one in the gun. Now what this means is you have to be very selective on when you want to drop your magazines, because you get bullets which you can then put in a magazine, but if you don't have any magazines because you've dropped them all, then it's going to be hard to actually put bullets into your magazine. So that's a really cool realistic touch, which I think a lot more survival horror games should have. So as you can see there, the enemies don't seem to be as bullet spongy as the enemies from Resident Evil 2, which might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. Now, I didn't personally mind the bullet spongy enemies in Resident Evil 2 because it meant that you had to figure out new ways of killing them or incapacitating them and moving around them. So hopefully they're not too easy to kill in this.
Hey you! Drop your gun and let me see your hands! Right now!
Now if that doesn't give you Hunk and the team busting in on Birkin Fields, then I don't know what will. But yeah, as you can see, the cutscenes are in game, which is nice, which is what you come to expect from any video game now. Obviously the technology has moved on dramatically from 1998, 1999, that era of survival horror. So the cutscenes here do look very crisp and on point because, like I said earlier, it is on par with the actual gameplay. So that is a nice touch.
I'm telling you, it was the most incredible fight I ever saw. We just grabbed the guy, bit his ear off, and spit it on the mat. How often does that happen?
During a boxing match? Never.
Also another good touch, obviously the game is set in 1998, so it's good that they've kind of kept some pop culture references in there to make it feel more like it is in 1998. Again, this cutscene looks very 90s, the characters as well themselves look very 90s, the two in the cockpit, especially the guy on the right looks like a very 90s action hero character. So again, kudos to them for bringing that 90s action / survival horror feel to it. So this is just further on in the demo. Now as you can see here, it's a new location. I'm not going to tell you why, because obviously there's spoilers in the demo, so if you don't want to know any spoilers, I'm not going to give you them, which is good. But yeah, this area reminds me very heavily of the Union area in the Evil Within 2. Now that is another game that I think this is going to take influence from. So mainly, so far, what I can see from this, it very heavily takes influence from, of course, Resident Evil, and there are hints of the Evil Within, especially the Evil Within 2 in this. So I think it's mainly going to be a hybrid of those two games. So we talked about gunplay a little bit, we talked about the locations and the nostalgia feel, so I'm going to really quickly touch on the little icon on the top of the screen, which is a gas mask, and it's half at the moment got a little skull and crossbones. Now that's quite interesting because that shows that there's going to be status effects. So as you can see, the gas on the floor, I believe, is actually poisoning your character, so that adds another, I guess, desperation in the game. So you're running through enemies and you're also trying to not die from the poison, and as you can see here, your character goes into a building, and then once you're in the building, your gas meter replenishes. So that's quite a nice touch. It just means that you can't just stay outside and just kill everything. You have to run past before the time runs out and your character dies. So that's another good survival horror feature, which I think is going to make this game a little bit different and more interesting. One other feature that I've noticed, which heavily is influenced by Resident Evil 1 Remake and Resident Evil 2 Remake, is, I wouldn't say defense items, but it is the way that your character can defend themselves. So obviously in Resident Evil 1 Remake and Resident Evil 2 Remake you have defense items. So on this, I don't think you have defense items, you're just able to, in this case, tap A, and you can push the zombies off you, or enemies off you. And that's something, obviously, again, takes influence from Resident Evil, but it's done in its own way, so it's not just a copy. Personally, I'm really looking forward to Daymare 1998, because in the survival horror genre, it is kind of hard for new titles to come out. I mean, The Evil Within and The Evil Within 2, I thought they were a success, but commercially they didn't do as well as, say, like Silent Hill or Resident Evil, and I think that's just because those two titles kind of invented survival horror and brought it in on a really big scale. But that's my 2 cents on the Daymare 1998 demo. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know if you think this game is going to do well, and if you're hyped for it. I'm really excited, and I'm definitely going to get it on launch, and I'm going to let's play it, and I'm going to do some more breakdowns for you when we get some more footage or screenshots or anything like that. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and check out the videos coming up in a second.